welcome to Community at Home for September 4th, 2020. Friday, beginning of Labor Day weekend, and man, is it hot, right? This is going to be a hot weekend, so we may not be laboring this weekend, but our air conditioners are going to be laboring, that's for sure. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in and watching this week's or this version of Community at Home. I'm going to read Psalms 122, verse 1. In Psalms 122, verse 1, this is what David says. He says, I was glad when they said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. I was glad to me when they said, let us go to the house of the Lord. You know, the last 6 months, gathering for church has been different, and that's a huge understatement, isn't it? For some of you, you haven't been in a corporate worship experience since the beginning of March. And some of us started coming back in June, and some of us has just started coming back in the past few weeks. So I want to speak to a couple of things. We know that we need corporate worship. We know that church is essential. We know that this is what God has called us to do. The church has been gathering for 2,000 years to sing and pray and open up the Word and read. And while the last 6 months may not be the way that we want to do it, may not be our preference, it is the way that we have to do church right now. So we're doing corporate worship a couple of different ways. The first way that we're doing is we're making everything online. And we have invested heavily in making our online experience better. In the course of the next couple of weeks, we have brand new cameras that we're going to begin to use with brand new computers and a brand new lighting system and all kinds of changes to make the online experience the best that it can be. Now, why are we doing that? We're doing that because we love you. We're doing that because you deserve the best. You want the best, and we want to be as good at that as we can be. So we're doing that for you. I know for many of you, you don't feel comfortable being in a room with other people, especially a large group. I know some of you, your work will not allow you to do that. And so we are making that the best that we can. And we respect you for that. I respect you for making that decision. At the same time, we have people who are gathering on campus. And we're going to continue to do that. We have an 8 o'clock, a 9:30, and 11 o'clock service where we're gathering. This Sunday, starting the first Sunday in September, we're reopening our cafe. And so we're going to have coffee and hot tea available before each service. And we may even throw some donuts in there every now and then, just as a little bit of a happy. So that gives us a little bit back into some normalcy. I've noticed in the Starbucks that I go to that you can now sit inside and you can sit outside. And so as long as you wear the mask when you come in and when you leave, those kinds of things. And so I just want to also let you know, for those of you that are comfortable coming on campus, and if you're going to be here, that is how we're approaching it. We're approaching the time of worship as if we were a restaurant. And so we ask you to wear a mask when you come in. We ask you to wear a mask when you leave. We ask you to wear a mask if you are walking around. But once you get to your seat and you sit down and you're appropriately social distance from people that are not in your immediate family, then it's okay for that mask to slide down or to hang off the ear. You know, everybody's seeing the mask hanging off the ear look. I just want to be upfront with that, and so that when you come, you're not surprised, like, why isn't everybody wearing a mask? And so you'll just know what is happening with that. We're doing church differently, and it's not necessarily our preference, but it's what we're doing. So if I was going to just remind us of anything, I would remind us of what David says in Psalms 122, verse 1. I was glad when they said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. At this time, for some of us, for a lot of us, that means going to the house of the Lord means from my couch or my patio because of the place in life that I find myself. For some of us, that means coming and being a part of on-campus worship experience. And I know that we're all praying and we're all looking forward to the day when we don't have to do any of that. Now, we're going to continue to offer online. That's here to stay. That's not going away. And that's another reason why we've invested so much time and energy and money into making that process and that product, so to speak, the best that it can be. So I want you to know that you're loved. And whether I see you on Sunday through the mask, or I'm able to make eye contact with you during the teaching time, or whether I see your faces and your families behind the lens, I know that you're loved, know that you're cared for, and we will get through this together. And so as long as we keep our eyes on Him and know that Jesus is the reason that we're doing this, He's going to sustain us and He's going to allow us to get through it. So may we all be glad when we get to go to the house of the Lord, however that might look in these days. Love you. Talk to you soon.